Wow. That's about all I can say after getting back from this pretty powerful conference. And I'm just super amped up, but I had to calm myself down a little bit to break it down for you guys with the nuggets I'm going to share on this episode. But first, a quick word from a sponsor, yours truly. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Drew, and I want to welcome you back to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that'll actually improve your vision the longer you listen. As you know, I'm always learning how to see better, right? That means I go to the places I need to go to get the information that I need to make an impact on my life. And sometimes these may be a variety of types of events, but the fact of the matter is I'm consistently and continually investing in myself. And one of the things I was thinking about that's crazy because, you know, I'm traveling with my family, I'm with my wife, I'm with my youngest son, and, you know, we got a lot of bags, right? You know, it's a lot involved with, you know, traveling for a good chunk of time and being away from home for a little bit. But, you know, it's crazy. It's like the whole time I was thinking, man, it's like, you know, pack light or bring a bigger bag. And why do I say that? You know, bring a bigger bag, not because, you know, I didn't have enough stuff to begin with, but I say that symbolically, like physically, as well as like what you bring to the table when you go into an environment where you're going to be gaining something, whether you're gaining knowledge, gaining status, gaining friendships, gaining, you know, just gaining new perspective, right? You know, gaining something that you haven't had up until now. So it's like you really need to bring a bigger bag. And, you know, you physically, a lot of times you might go somewhere, you might typically go on vacation, you'll go to a nice destination, you might do a little shopping, and you find out that, you know, you might catch a deal or you catch a new style or something that really appealed to you, and you want to bring it back with you. It's important enough, you want to go ahead and making the acquisitions, no problem, go and get the thing that you want or you need is you know, it's secondary, it's second nature. But sometimes you need to bring a bigger bag so you can fit it all, so you can actually make use of that which you've acquired. And that's one of the things I found, that it's not in this case so much specific to new education, but rather our attitudes about education, right? You know, you need to bring a bigger bag because you need to be looking at, you know, entering into something where if you're going to go learn, you're going to go take a class, let's say, you need to come back and say to yourself, look, I'm going to be stronger, I'm going to be smarter, I'm going to be, you know, more valuable to the marketplace after I, you know, consume this information and then take action on it, right? So that's very important. And I think that a lot of times, you know, people might go on vacation with their bags too packed, you know, can't even bring back the souvenirs. So that's the, you know, the physical embodiment of the example, but really mentally, you know, one of the most hindering things is to not think that you're not going to bring back a whole lot of good stuff. And now I'm talking about the information, I'm talking about the experiences, I'm talking about the relationships. You know, it reminds me of a quote I heard from Bruce Lee, where it's like he's essentially saying, you know, if you come to me and ask for something, you first have to let go of that which, you know, you're bringing to the table to be able to really take what I have. So the quote goes something like this. It says, you have to be able to empty out your cup before I pour into your cup with what I have to provide for you, right? So when you think about, you know, if you're going off to college, you know, you want to bring either an empty bag or a bigger bag, likely than you think, right? When you go to have a new experience, you need to bring a bigger bag because if you're prepared to grow, if you're prepared to become more, that may just be one of the things you have to do. And so in this scenario, it was funny because I kind of had the best of both worlds. I felt like I needed to bring a bigger bag. I, you know, picked up a couple of things, you know, as far as physically, but I picked up an immense amount more intellectually, and just being able to gain perspective on some of the things that I experienced over the last week, a couple of which I wanted to share with you. So I hope you've brought your bigger bag to this podcast episode so you can make sure that you're going to be able to leave once we're all wrapped up here feeling like you return back to wherever you are now, or back to whatever you're doing with more than you had before you found this information. So one of the things I'll talk about briefly is just the idea of bringing a bigger bag as I said, it can be like a physical thing. You brought 5 shirts and you buy 3 while you're gone, right? For a 5-day trip or a 4-day trip, as an example. But as far as bringing a bigger bag, we need to bring like a bigger idea of possibilities, right? You need to bring a bigger bag, even if it's not filled up yet. You need to bring a bigger context to the table when you really want to immerse yourself in an environment where you're looking to grow, where you're looking to develop, where you're looking to gain something specific, right? You're looking to gain the tactics. You've got to bring more to the table. You got to bring a bigger bag. You got to bring a more mature mindset. You have to bring a bigger potential to the table, a bigger vision. In many instances, that was one of the probably most impactful things I learned was, and not so much that I learned, but was really reinforced, right? Because we can tend to think that because we know something that, you don't have to tune in and pay as much attention. But rather, I think quite the opposite is true, because when you do pay attention to things that you know, it's confirmation of mastery, because just having the information is one thing, but if you're not doing anything with it, if you just bought the book, on how to trade stocks as an example, but you never go click any buttons or talk to anybody to do it for you, guess what? You're not going to benefit from the knowledge you've acquired, quote unquote. And so many of us not bringing the bigger bag with regards to the potential that you have, and the belief that you have could be a very big hindrance, because our experience is only a moment in eternity at the end of the day. And for us to really look at ways to live our best life, we really have to have a stronger embodiment of what that means. We have to have a bigger vision for ourselves and what we want the totality of our experiences to look like when we get to the end of this, hopefully a long and enjoyable movie, right? As it just plays out in front of us. And so once we learn to really increase our vision, once we learn to bring more to the table with regards to, belief and potential, it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a big difference. And I think that so often we might see someone accomplish great things and we say, wow, they worked hard, they've got great vision. And it's as though, like, okay, I get it. No, not everyone's born maybe with some superhuman strength, but at the same time, we all have the ability to turn on superhuman belief. And it's just one of those things where, you'll look at someone that's done something great and you think, wow, what great vision. But it's like, it's a mental muscle that person that's achieved the great accolade, all they did was get clear on what they wanted to do and then went to work. I mean, it's not easy, of course not. Don't mean to take a thing away from any great achiever, but typically it's very simple. And that's one of the, very striking things about it when you really look at the big picture of all this, is that just we could all dream a little bit bigger. We could bring a bigger bag. We could bring a bigger dream. We could bring a bigger dream to the screen of our lives. Why not make that character do a little bit more? Why not make that main character have a little bit greater impact, right? Why not have that main character be able to reach their full potential? And so you got to bring a bigger bag. You got to bring a bigger batch of belief. And so that was probably one particular nugget. I think it resonated with me in a couple of different ways, because I kid you not, being able to see some of the awards and accolades and achievement recognition over the past these last few days has been incredible. And I think at some point, these folks had to recognize, I got to bring a bigger bag. You'd see video clips of someone saying, hey, I might be at this level right now, but give me a year and I'm going to be all the way up, right? And then to see that happen in actuality, it's the same 12 months for us all. it's the same January to December for us all, but that person brought a bigger bag. So the question is, will you, right? And you have to think about that sometimes. The next time you go and read a good book, right? And I'm not talking about entertainment. Say you go and read a book about some investment strategy or some technique. You bring a bigger bag, bigger intent for what you elect to get out of the thing you're going to do, what you're looking to become from the experience. And I think that will help us all get more out of some of the experiences that we have and the journey as we go along it. So I just wanted to share that real briefly and hopefully be some words of motivation as I'm just getting back home safely and enjoying a little bit of quality time with the family. I had to step away real quick through a quiet moment. Everyone's a little tired from the end of the weekend, and I thought I'd say a couple of things that help embody and encapsulate the experience. And so I share that with all of you, hoping that as you look into 2020 and look to find new ways to empower yourself to level up, whether it be, via books or via events or via coaching or via just, taking, massive imperfect action to execute on something you've gained. And I think that's part of what bringing a bigger bag kind of has to deal with, that sums it all up. So with that, keep that in mind as you go out there and look to attain new knowledge. Bring a bigger bag so you do something with it, and you'll be surprised to see how the results turn out. In the meantime, I can't wait to catch you on the next episode. And if this reminds you of somebody or makes you think of someone that needs to hear this, definitely share that with them. And I'd love to be able to get their feedback and hopefully have an impact as well. So until next time, thanks.